If you know football, you've heard of Manchester United. But if you watched football in the 2000s, you felt Manchester United. This was more than just a football club, it was a dominant force that ruled England and European football. Their rise didn't actually begin in the 2000s, but in the early 1990s, where the manager was the legendary Sir Alex Ferguson. His vision was simple: build a team that could dominate for years, and he started with young players first. David Beckham, Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes, Gary Neville, Nicky Butt, all these legendary players. Boys who would soon become men and legends of the game. By the time the 2000s arrived, these players were already lifting trophies. But what came next was something nobody could predict. A decade of pure dominance. Throughout the 2000s, Manchester United, they were simply unstoppable. They won 6 Premier League titles in a decade and added to the trophy cabinet with an FA Cup as well. League Cups and the most prestigious cup of all time, Champions League 2008, they bet Chelsea, which is my team as well. And that night in Moscow where they beat Chelsea, it was the 10th penalty shootout. It summed up everything United stood for: fight, belief, and never backing down. The club was stacked with talent and they had the greatest player of all time, Cristiano Ronaldo, who joined in 2003 as a skinny winger. And he grew into the best player in the world by the time he left in 2009. Wayne Rooney, a fearless striker that brought passion and goals to the club. And defensively, United were rock solid. Rio Ferdinand, Nemanja Vidic, and Edwin van der Sar. These three formed a wall literally nobody could break. And at the heart of it all, veterans like Scholes and Giggs, keeping the spirit of United alive. But above all, it was Sir Alex Ferguson that made it all work. Sir Alex Ferguson, he wasn't just a manager, he was a mastermind behind it all. He rebuilt teams, managed egos, and kept the hunger of United alive. Even after years of success under him, winning wasn't special anymore, it was just expected. But as the saying goes, all good things must come to an end. The first major blow came in 2013 when Sir Alex Ferguson retired after winning his 13th major Premier League title. And it wasn't just the end of a season, it was the end of an era. David Moyes, handpicked by Ferguson, took over, but it didn't even last a year. And after that, a series of managers came and went. Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, all trying to recapture the magic and bring United back to the glory days, but none succeeded. This is when things start going downhill because the club started losing its identity. They spent hundreds of millions on big name signings: Angel Di Maria, Alexis Sanchez, and Paul Pogba. But it never quite clicked. It felt like United was chasing short-term success rather than building something that would last long. Meanwhile, the rivals surged ahead: Manchester City, backed by oil, led by Pep Guardiola. They became a new superpower, winning the Premier League season after season. Liverpool, also led by Jurgen Klopp, suddenly returned to the top. Manchester United, they were no longer the giants, they were the underdogs. But what made the 2000s so special wasn't just the trophy, it was the feeling. The feeling that no matter who United played, they'd always fight to the end. Last minute winners, the roar at Old Trafford, and the iconic celebrations. It was football at its finest. Even now, fans look back at the decade with pride. It wasn't perfect, but it was glorious. That's why the 2000s is so special for Manchester United. And while the club has struggled to find its way back since, the legacy of that decade, it still lives on. The shirts might change, the players might be different, but the standard was already set in the early 2000s. And will Manchester United ever rise to those heights again? Well, only time will tell. But if there's one thing history has proven, it's proven that Manchester United don't stay down forever.